Preparing the
Inner Circle.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Inner Circle, or the Blair Witch Project, whatever this looks more like to you. We're recording this at 8:49 at night, and we saw last night The Post, directed by Steven Spielburg, starring Meryl Streep and Big Daddy Tom Hanks. And
otherwise Woody.
Yeah, Woody's Roundup. No, but we wanted to add a little bit more structure to this Inner Circle thing, so we just talked about it.
Brendan's got notes.
We got notes. Ooh, light is covering it, but there's words here. We wanted to go just faintly over our overall opinions, like a sentence or two, and then we discussed the story overall, involving the plot, story structure, that kind of stuff. Characters, music, our final thoughts, and then a score out of 10, because we know everyone loves scoring things on a number scale.
Good score.
Ooh, I don't normally believe in that, but that's what gets views.
It works.
It works. I mean,
I guess so does putting a dead body beside you.
Oh, Logan Paul jokes. We got topical jokes.
We're up with the times.
Yeah, that happened a week ago, or 2 weeks ago at this point, right? Oh, gotcha. Oh, cool. Ooh, okay. Well, overall, I thought The Post was okay. I don't know. It just felt like another Steven Spielberg film to me. I don't know. I wasn't super impressed by it. I don't know. Steven Spielberg has a way of making things really cheesy.
Yeah.
And I got that a ton. They were just like, feel something. And I was like, this woman's strong. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to ham it up like that. It kind of ruins the message after a while.
And with this story, I did feel something. Like, I felt leaning towards one way or the other. I mean, it's obvious, like, Meryl Streep, she's the owner, and she has to make a decision. Mm-hmm. That's obvious from the previews. I'm sitting here like, ooh, I want her to go this way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like some people also could have their argument to lean the other way. And
I feel like that goes into the story. That comment does. In terms of story, I feel like there's not much you can deviate from since it's based off true events. I will say, in terms of story, I love the dramatic like, this is going into characters as well, since it's a very character-driven story. I'd say it's kind of intertwined. Both. Because not a lot of time passes, and not a lot of like huge rising actions are going on. It's just one big decision. I would say there's one involving the New York Times. That's like a big decision they have to make. Yeah. And one involving the end decision with Meryl Streep that was put into the trailer. Does she post it? Yeah. And you'll have to go to the theaters to find that out.
Or just look it up on Google.
It's part of history, so
it's a story.
I know. I actually didn't look it up. I just kind of.
I didn't either. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I know.
I was waiting for that moment where it's just like, okay, don't post, and it's like, oh, then why'd you make the movie?
Did you feel the same way? It's like, this is directed by Steven Spielberg. It happened. And also, with the trailer hammed it up. Like, if we don't post this, it's the end of the American press as we know it. And so, like, if they really got restricted by Nixon that hard, freedom of the press would have been. Yeah. So, like, it had to have happened. Like, there's no way it didn't happen. And I went into this movie saying, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to call the plot points beat by beat, but I don't care. In terms of the cinematography of the story?
Oh, cinematography was
I thought it was pretty good. Done. I thought it was pretty good.
There's one part where Saul Goodman. Goodman. Okay, so the guy who plays Saul Goodman, I can't remember his name for the life of me. Him and another character go into a corner, and it's the lawyer. He's asking a big question, and there's just a dark tone. Well, it's because there's no lighting other than just this one like halo light and another on the other guy. So you see their faces, but it is amazing shot, and I will give that to whoever planned that scene.
I will say, for every good shot to great shot there is in the movie, there's one. The rest are either basic, or you have some extremely cheesy shots. Like, okay, this will Remember when they're finding out about the decision about if they're like, what is it? The decision about the post. Like, what happens is Daddy Tom Hanks walks out with a bunch of his reporters behind him, and he looks like Superman, and the rest of his crew look like the Justice League.
He's like, well,
there's a slight
what's
low,
the decision?
Yeah, there's like a low angle, and it's like a low wide angle, and it's just him and his team going like, what's the decision? It's just like, it's so cheesy.
Yeah. And of course, everybody's standing up whenever there's got to be people just sitting there thinking, I'm losing my job today. Yeah. Like,
and Tom Hanks is just like, I'm okay. And that is one thing about the characters. I love how Daddy Tom Hanks is thinking like, I'm thinking about the press and I don't care about my job. And it's like, yeah, and I will say this caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into spoiler territories, but there's something about Tom Hanks' character that's a little misunderstanding about the decision they have to make.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like slowly going into music, our next little topic, I feel like a mix of cheesy shots with super cheesy triumphant music. Okay, I have to bring this up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say when it happens, but there's this thing where it just has somewhat of a slow motion tracking shot where Meryl Streep is walking down a certain amount of steps, and all the male reporters are going over to this other
the New York
Times, and then all the women are just their faces are literally like, and I was like, okay, we get it. She's a strong female. It's like, I'm okay. That almost sounded like a bad thing. It's not. The thing is, it's like you don't have to ham it up to the point where you have like some kind of sexist men going like, you see that cheesy stuff.
Like, and the thing is, it's not historically like correct because I don't even have to look it up. You know that there's got to have been some reporters going to her like, ma'am, what do you think of this? Yeah. What do you think of that? And it's just, when there was no reporters going to her, I didn't think about it at first, honestly. Brandon had to tell me. And I was like, oh, man, that is kind of weird.
I get it. They're trying to push a social agenda that I believe in as well. I believe in it. But if you ham it up so much that it's to the point of fantasy, sexist men will still believe that it is, in fact, a fantasy. And if you want to fight with me, there's philosophical books out there about it. I'll link you to them.
I'm more on the...
I'm so sorry.
I'm more on the historical side. I just want it to be accurate. If it's going to be one that's like, based off of a true story, be accurate, please.
I guess we can go to our final impressions. Final impressions, I'd say if you really don't have it, if you haven't seen like Lady Bird, okay, because Lady Bird's in our local theaters. Lady Bird's been in theaters since November.
I now have to go see this.
Yeah, it's in AMC. Once you get your movie pass, dude, go. I'll go with you to see it again. It's like if there's no other movies that you're like sort of interested in, I'd say give The Post a shot. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's an okay like based off a true story adaptation. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of Stephen King. Yeah, I like the indie first three. I like the first three indies. I like Jurassic Park. I don't know. It's just like he hams things up so much to the point where I'm disgusted because I'm more sort of like
Stephen King.
I did say Stephen King, didn't I? Steven Spielberg. I keep doing that a lot. I keep saying Stephen King because I prefer Stephen King stories.
Yeah,
that's a jab. That's another jab at Steven
goodness.
Spielberg. By the way, go see it. Or, no, go get it. Because it's now... I don't think it's on Blu-ray yet. Is it?
I have no idea.
Okay, it's either on digital Blu-ray or digital HD, or it's on Blu-ray already. Yeah. Plug.
I will say, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's definitely good if you want to learn about like the press and the stuff they have to deal with. Because it definitely shows like you can do a lot of things, but you have a lot of pressure on you on your decision. And that's very informative to some people. Now, for us, since we work in student media, it definitely was entertaining. Because we see that kind of stuff play out a little bit at a time. Not on the full scale of getting called by Richard Nixon saying, hey, you got to stop posting. But it definitely was entertaining.
Washington Post should ever come into the White House. Just... That's just historical facts. I needed to look up if that was really was that a reenactment of what Rick?
I think that must have been his voice.
That was hilarious if it was.
It was
like no one from the Post is allowed in the White House. It's like, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't take it seriously. Okay, but out of 10, I'd give it a 6.5.
6.5.
Okay,
wow.
7.
Yours dropped
7
a little bit. I'd say 8.5, around there.
Yeah. But overall, guys, we thought it was a good time on a Tuesday where we only had to pay $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$5 Tuesday, I'm good.
I wouldn't pay full price for this movie.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
But
Bye.
Bye. No, why are you going to do it to my lens?
I just ended there. It's like...
You're editing this one, so you have free reign on it. Could you stop with my lens? I feel like it's getting raped.